Welcome to Real Estate Real World, where we talk to the movers, shakers, and leaders that are getting it done right now in the real estate industry and beyond. Your host, MargueriteCrespillo, started this podcast simply dedicated to call people about what's really happening in this crazy roller coaster ride of real estate. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and stay up to date on the newest stuff by adding yourself to the list at www.realestaterealworld.com. Now your host, MargueriteCrespillo.
Hello, everybody. It's that time again. Time for Real Estate Real World. I am Marguerite Crespillo, and we do this podcast on a regular basis to bring value to you. And I get to talk to all kinds of cool people, which is my favorite part, and is the whole reason why I started Real Estate Real World way back in the day. So today, without fail, we have an awesome young man who's going to join us today. I happened to see him randomly on social media somewhere, and I was like, I need to get to know this guy for sure. Super smart. So let me give you a little bit of information about him before we bring him up. So Phil Stringer is a successful businessman, sales expert, and coach. He began his career as a teenager with an online arbitrage business, generating 6 figures in revenue. At 18, he started his formal sales career with General Electric and became the top sales agent worldwide by the end of his first year. Phil has since honed his skills and is now Chief Operating Officer at eXp Realty for a team at eXp Realty, right? And he also coaches agents nationwide and has created a study program that helps North Carolina real estate agents pass the national and state exam on their first try. Phil is highly regarded by industry leaders, has a passion for music and fatherhood of 3 young babies. He can be found online at philstringer.com, offering consulting services to help professionals reach new heights. And today he's going to talk to us all about the amazing stuff that is going on in the world with ChatGPT. Welcome aboard, Phil.
I am so happy to be here.
Good. I'm so thrilled to have you here because, I was laughing when I saw your profile and all your stuff because I was like, so I'm going to be almost 60 years old. So I'm just dating myself. And I was thinking back because there's a lot of talk about ChatGPT. It's crazy. And I've been in real estate 30 years. And when I got into real estate, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have internet. We didn't have email.
Right.
So people are all freaking out about this ChatGPT, which I can see both sides of it, right? It's a little scary, a little unnerving, a lot confusing. But it's changing the world, just like internet did, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And I think you hit it right on the head there. It is scary. It's scary because the capabilities of it, the AI agent is going to replace your normal agent. It's just a matter of time. And that's why it's scary, because AI isn't going to replace your job right now. But an agent who's using AI eventually will, because they're going to be able to do so much more than an agent who's not using AI. So if you look at it almost when the internet came out, the revolution of the internet, can you imagine real estate agents before the internet came out if they never adopted using the internet? Eventually, right? Like, it's crazy.
It's funny that you say that because, like I said, when I first got into real estate, we used to have MLS books. Okay. We didn't have the internet. We had books and we met once a week. And we would bring our listings and we'd put the books in there. And I remember people freaking out when we got the MLS, and it was DOS based at that time. For some of you who've been around a while, it was DOS based, right? So we had all these prompts and codes and things we put in. It was so basic. And I remember the agents freaking out. And I remember internet we used to get the AOL disc in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a whole good old floppy disk, and we'd put it in and you'd get that, noise dial up. But look how amazing life has become. Like, real estate agents now, in my opinion, have it so much easier in so many ways, but challenging in other ways. Clients now can find houses on the internet. So now skill becomes of the true experience and expertise of the agent as opposed to just finding in the house. Where do you think things are going to go with the AI? Help me understand it a bit. Treat me like a 5-year-old.
There you go. We'll explain it from the very basics. I AI is here to stay. Okay, this is something. It's like when the internet came out. It's that revolutionary, and so I think that's why people are talking so much about Chat GPT, and that's why it can be a little bit scary because if you don't know what Chat GPT is, if you don't know what AI tools to use, if you don't even know what the heck AI is, then you feel like you're almost being left behind. And so I think that's why it's important that people like you have these conversations, that people who are listening right now tune into conversations like this, because it's here to stay. And if we don't embrace it, we will get left behind. And like I said, this AI revolution, the great thing is it's not just about the agent, right? So in the real estate industry, AI is changing everything and it's going to just continue to change everything as we keep going. But the AI revolution is not just for the agent, it's not just about the agent, it's also about the client and the homeowner. And I think sometimes we miss that because we're thinking, okay, how can I utilize AI and Chat GPT for my business? And we need to. But the other thing that we need to consider is how will AI and Chat GPT give a better experience for my client and the homeowner? Right? Because the AI agent, the agent who's utilizing AI, is going to be able to provide a much better experience for their customer. And so, if we can embrace these things, yes, our business will increase. Yes, we can do lead generation through AI. Yes, we can have a better social media and marketing presence when we utilize AI. But through all of those things, our clients, the homeowners, potential clients will end up having a better experience from point one all the way to the final closing table. They're going to have a better experience if we can utilize and implement AI in the correct way.
So take us all the way back then. Help me understand, like, what actually is AI?
Yeah, for sure. So AI, it's artificial intelligence. It's essentially like a computer that has been programmed to act like a human. Okay. So I think that's why people get a little bit
A
freaked
little
out by
freaked
it
out because of the
because yeah,
movie, The
right.
Terminator, and all.
Exactly. But it's not as scary as we think. It's essentially a language model that has been trained on a massive amount of data. So we're in the data revolution where you can look up anything online. So imagine a computer that's been trained on just thousands and thousands of pages of data to where it has learned how to respond accurately like a human. So Chat GPT it's essentially like a chat bot. So you go on Chat GPT and from the very basics, let's say you have no idea what Chat GPT is, okay?
Okay.
If you were to type into Google Chat GPT, the first result that's going to come up is a link from a company called OpenAI. It's called OpenAI. You're going to click on that link, and there's a button that says try now. So you can click that button. What it will ask you to do is it will ask you to create an account. So it's just like you were to create in a login for any other online account. You have to verify your email address, you have to put in your name and your phone number. And then once you have an account, it is free for now.
Yeah.
It's a free service. You can go in and there's essentially it's almost like a search bar on Google. Imagine like you're going to Google something.
Okay.
You can type in any simple question, and that language model is going to return to you not just links and articles and results like Google would. What it's going to do is it's going to conversationally return a value that answers your question like if you were talking to a person, right? So imagine that you're talking to a person who knows everything in the world and you ask a question. It's not just going to be like, okay, here's a bunch of links. Now you have to click through and search through and see if this is actually going to answer your question. It's going to answer your question with a conversation. So that's in a nutshell, that is what ChatGPT is. And as we continue to talk about this, I'll explain how the different things you can do with it, how it relates to real estate, and the different ways that you can utilize it in your business to really help yourself and your clients.
So that makes a lot more sense to me now because and I've actually been avoiding researching it because knowing I was going to talk to you, I wanted to get the information firsthand. So I was like,
For sure.
I want to feel a little naive when I talk to you. And because I couldn't quite understand. Now it makes sense. It's like talking to a person and they're responding instead of
Right.
sending you links, which
Exactly.
is how
Exactly.
historically we've been doing it. We've been going to Google and type in the links.
Right.
So then I also see all these other things that seem to be like add-ons or something, or they're things like, help me understand what's the next step from there.
Yeah, so really the next thing that you need to do with ChatGPT is you need to know how to use it the best way to get the best results. So just like any other tool, the tool is only as good as the person using the tool. Like a
Garbage in,
hammer.
garbage out.
Exactly. If you were to use a hammer, it's only as good as how the person swings the hammer. And so if you say, okay, I have all of this power at my fingertips to ask any question in the world and get a very good response, an accurate response back based on this trained data, but I don't know what to ask it. So therefore, the tool is only as good as what I put in it. Right?
Okay, that makes
And
more
and
sense to me now
so
because I've been a little confused by it too. I don't even know what to ask.
so if you had this powerful engine that's, hey, ask anything you want, and you're going to get a really good result, you'd be like, okay, that's awesome. That's great that I have all this power, but I don't know what to ask it. And so the next step is learning how to ask it certain things, learning what to ask it and how to ask it to get the best results. And so that's where I've come in, where I have spent months and months. This thing is brand new, just got released months ago, but I've spent a lot of time researching, okay, what is it capable of? What can I ask it? And how do I ask it to get the best results for real estate? And so the good news is that you don't have to be an AI master. You don't have to be a Chat GPT master. You don't need to know anything about Chat GPT to begin to use it. I think the important step for people out there who are saying, hey, this sounds great. I don't know what to do, but hey, let's get started, right? Would be to align yourself with someone who maybe is a master or who does know about it and listen to podcasts like this that say, okay, we're going to explain it from step one. Align yourself with people, have the conversations with people who have already done the legwork, who have already done the research, so that they can explain it to you in a way that you understand how to actually use this thing. And so that's what I've done. I've created my coaching model around, hey, look, I'm the AI person in real estate. I know exactly how to use it to get whatever result that you're wanting to get for your real estate business. So you tell me what you want to do, and I'm going to tell you how to use AI to get there. Why? Because I've already done the legwork. That it would be ridiculous for everyone to spend months and months learning AI, learning ChatGPT. Man, just align yourself with someone who's already done that, and you'll be able to condense time and you'll be able to utilize someone else's knowledge who's already been there to get a good result.
And the reality is, isn't it always better to bring in a mentor or a coach to help you
Yeah,
hop, skip above where you might have been already? Like even in real estate,
exactly.
I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and the new agent was like, I think I could just go figure it out on my own. I said, you could, but it's going to take you a lot longer to figure that out. And it's
Yep.
going to cost you a lot of mistakes, a lot of money and mistakes that you would typically make. And so I feel
Yeah.
the same way about this. Like it seems like you could bypass a lot of the mistakes you might normally make.
Absolutely. And it's the same with anything. If you can find someone who's already been there and done the work, it would make sense to align with that person if you can and learn the shortcuts so that you don't have to go through months and months of learning as well. And so with ChatGPT, I can give us some practical things on how we can use it because right now you understand what it is, right? You don't necessarily, if you're new to ChatGPT, you don't necessarily understand its capabilities yet. And so what I
Exactly.
can do is I can lay out a couple capabilities that are basically what this is going to do. This is going to get your mind to start thinking, oh, if that's possible, then maybe I can ask it this, right? So I'm going to
Yeah. Give us
stir
some
that
examples.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to start very basic and then I'll get a little bit more advanced. Okay. So, very basic would be number one is ask it simple questions. So,
Okay.
this would be anything that you would Google. You can also put into Chat GPT, like we mentioned. So, if you had a simple question that you were going to Google, let's say you're starting your real estate business and you're a brand new agent and you want to know, how do I make six figures in real estate, right? You can type into Chat GPT I'm a brand new real estate agent. How can I make six figures? Create me a business plan, right? So instead of replying with links and articles like Google would do, this is actually going to write you out a business plan on how to attain six figures in real estate.
Crazy.
Like, it's amazing. But the thing with ChatGPT is it learns as it goes. So as you continue to talk to it in that conversation, it's going to remember everything that you've said, right? So if you were to go on Google and you were to type in, I'm new in real estate, how do I make six figures? You're going to get links and articles that might be helpful. But then if you type in after that, I'm in California in this market, what are some things specifically in my market I can do to market myself? It's not going to remember that you are a brand new real estate agent and that you want to make six figures. It's going to completely give you a new set of links and articles. What ChatGPT does is it remembers exactly what you have said. And so now when you say, hey, look, I'm in California and I'm in this specific market, what are some specific things for my area I can do to establish my authority as a new agent? It's going to remember, okay, you're a brand new agent. You want to know how to make six figures. And now we're adding in this. So it's going to factor in all of those things in its response. So it learns as you talk to it.
Okay, so that makes a little more sense now, but I'm assuming that's because you have logged in. So you have a login and password, so it's tracking you, right?
Correct.
Because
You have a login and password. Yes.
I saw that how the common person we know is GoGo, and she was saying how she was going to feed all of her podcasts and all of her training and all
Yes.
that into it. And I didn't understand what she was talking about. That didn't make any sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
So now that makes
what
a little
I'm
more sense. So I could take all of my historical trainings I've done and my coaching programs and my podcast, and you can, how do you feed that in there? I guess that's the part that I don't quite understand.
Yeah. So again, that's actually, so I'm coaching Gogo and her team on how to use AI right now. And one of the main goals that they want, like I said, somebody tells me their goal and I'm going to be like, okay, here's how you accomplish this. So their goal is to make the results from ChatGPT sound like Gogo talking, right? So what you can do is you can put a prompt into ChatGPT. Now imagine this, and this is going a little bit more advanced, but that's okay. You can put into ChatGPT, all right, analyze the following text for tone of voice and style. Everything that you write from here on out in this conversation, I want you to match this tone of voice and this style. And then you paste in an email that you have written, or an article that you have written, or a blog, or any type of text that sounds like your voice because you wrote it or you spoke it. And then you ask your chat GPT, okay, now write me an article. Guess what? It's going to match the tone of voice and the text that you've put in, which was you. So it's going to sound like you. So Gogo is from Romania, right? So she has a very specific tone. She's very to the point, like she doesn't beat around the bush.
Right.
And so we can actually feed written stuff that Gogo has done and then say, all right, I want all my outputs to sound like Gogo, and everything that it outputs is going to sound like Gogo. So what you can also do is you can take audio of a podcast or of anything that she has spoken, a video, whatever. You can transcribe that video to spit out the text of what she said using another platform, which I can go over. Then you copy and paste that text from her video or her speaking or her audio podcast. And then you can be like, hey, study this voice and spit out content that's going to sound like Gogo. Now write me a blog about this subject.
That's
Boom.
insane.
Now you have a blog. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now I heard, I don't know if Justin Nelson was Sphere Rocket.
Yeah, Sphere Rocket for sure.
Yeah, so he's a great guy too. I've done some stuff with him. And he sent an audio to us in Messenger that I would have sworn was him. And it was done with some sort of AI.
Yes.
So now that's the part that gets me a little creepy, right? Like you get messages from somebody, you think it's them and it's not them.
100%. So there's a program that I like to use. It's actually at its core, it's a video editing software, but it's fantastic with creating an AI voice for yourself. So you can use it just for creating your own voice, but essentially it's called Descript, Descript, right?
Yeah, we use that on our team.
Okay, perfect. So within Descript, there's also a create a voice feature. So what you do is it asks you to give at least 10 minutes. They recommend 30 minutes of audio speaking or a video of you speaking. And what it does is it analyzes your voice, and then it creates a voice for you that sounds like you, to where whatever you type into it and you hit play, it sounds like you are reading whatever you typed. So imagine for a second how realtors and agents can utilize this. Let's say, for an example, they go to ChatGPT and they have a listing, right? You can type in, create me a listing or a property description for this address. It has 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2 fireplaces, whatever. You can give it whatever details, it will spit you out an amazing property description. So then you copy that property description text, you paste it into Descript, and you hit play. Now you have your voice reading a property description. Well, what if you were to take photos from that listing, put it on a slideshow, and then paste that audio over the slideshow? Guess what you have that you didn't do anything for? You have a listing video. And then your clients are gonna be like, dang, this guy or this girl goes the extra mile.
Wow.
They do a listing, and it's text that you didn't write because you got it from ChatGPT for the property description. It is audio that you didn't even record because you just pasted the text in from ChatGPT, and your voice sounds like you're reading it, but you're not. And it's photos you didn't take because you got it from the photographer. You put it on a slideshow, you're done.
Wow. Yeah, I can see both sides of it, right? I could see the potential for how it could definitely skyrocket you and your business in so many ways. But there's still that little bit of like weird side, like, oh, somebody's
Right.
like replicating my voice.
Right.
Although it might help
Yep.
on days like this when I've got laryngitis. But what are some other ways that people are utilizing it right now? What are
Yeah.
some suggestions that you have?
Yeah, I'll go through just a couple more of the basic ones too. Generating lists. So you can have it generate a list of ideas, hobbies, questions, business ideas. So if you type in, for an example, I'm looking for a new hobby. Generate me a list of 10, 20, you pick the number, potential new hobbies that I could start. It'll generate you a list. But again, with ChatGPT, the more detailed you are, the better results you're going to get. So if you were to ask that same question and say, all right, I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. What are 10, 20 potential new hobbies that I could start? It literally gives you results based on your area. So it's going to say, okay, right, because it'll say Greensboro has this fantastic hiking trail, and they'll name what it is. And they'll say, maybe you could take up hiking and go to this spot. So it's not just like you could try hiking. You give it more detailed information, it's going to spit out more detailed information. So that's why I say ChatGPT is amazing, but it's only as good as the prompts that you put in. So you have to know what you can ask it and how to ask it. And that's where the secret sauce is, right? So as many details as you can when asking questions is going to give you better results. Another thing that you can do, long form written pieces. So you can actually ask it to write you a blog, to write you an article. You can have it write you a book, right? So you could say, all right, I want you to write me a blog on this real estate topic. All right, let's say 2-1 buy downs. I want you to write me a 2,000 word blog on 2-1 buy downs. Boom. You have a blog with headers, bullet points, like literally listed out with like pros and cons of 2-1 buy down. Like you tell it what you want, it writes it for you right in front of your eyes. You tell it how long you want it, how short you want it, and it'll match what you want as far as the length. It can answer complex problems for you. You can type in a problem or something that you need. It does math. You can have it give you feedback commands. So imagine for a second that you wrote an email, or you wrote a response to a customer, or you wrote a text message, or you didn't even know how to respond to someone. You can paste in what you've written, and you can say, will you give me feedback on this blog that I wrote? Now it'll analyze the text and it'll say, hey, you might want to recraft this, and it'll do grammar and spelling, of course, and punctuation, but it goes even deeper than that. It says, for this blog post, you might want to add a couple images. You might want to add a couple more real life examples. You might want to add a couple external links. So it'll actually help you. It does SEO. So it helps your search engine optimization on your websites to get you like crafted SEO type materials. So there's a whole lot.
How
Yeah,
will you know, or does it even matter anymore about what you wrote and what somebody else wrote, right?
you
Moving
can't.
forward.
I mean, you
Like,
you basically can't.
I guess you really can't. And I
No,
don't know how important that would be in the scheme of things, but
right.
in writing, responding to emails, or even books. But then here's the funny thing, that as people get twacked out about that kind of stuff, is that so many books now are ghost written, right? And people don't
Yeah,
even really realize that they take your information and then help you craft it and rewrite it. Like, I wrote a book called The 100 Things I Love About You, about relationships. And it was my thought process, my content, my idea, but I hired someone to help me pull it all together and
sure.
write it in a way that made more sense than the way I wrote. And I never really realized how that process worked until I went through it. And then I also never realized how many books are actually ghost written, right?
Yeah,
Or written
right.
effectively by somebody else, not necessarily somebody's words. And so, does it really matter in the scheme of things? You still got the thought process and the content. But I guess we started this conversation by saying that this could replace some of what we do in real
For
estate.
sure.
Where does the value come from then for the agents, that so that they don't lose their job, so that they don't get aced out of this? I know that there's some agents who didn't survive even when email came out.
For
They were
sure.
still
For
like,
sure.
oh, just call me, don't email me. I don't like email, or I don't like faxes. So I guess there will be a shift a bit in the industry. And what do you think that will look like?
Yeah, honestly, the way that I see this going is that the people who implement AI are going to have a massive advantage. And that's the scary part about it, is that like I said, it's almost like when the internet came out. Can you imagine if you were still using your MLS books?
Yeah,
Like everyone would be running circles around you,
exactly.
because the moment that something goes pending or off the market or something gets listed, you would have no idea because you've got this printed book and you're waiting on the next one. So you would have agents run circles around you. And so that's why I think, one, it's scary because, yeah, if you don't implement it, it's just a matter of time that agents are going to absolutely run circles around you because of what this thing is capable of. But there's relief in knowing, you know what? You don't have to be a pro or a master. You don't even have to learn it yourself. You just need to implement it with people that know how to do it. It's like hiring a VA, it's hiring an assistant, right? There are people who are really good at things that, one, we're either not good at or we don't have the time to learn.
Exactly.
You can't do it all. And so if this is overwhelming to you and you're saying, man, I know I need to do AI, but I don't have the brain power right now to add something else onto, okay, then figure out someone that you can connect with that already knows it and get them to help you.
And so that's actually leads us into, this is something that you've spent a lot of time doing. And so you have some options, right? So if somebody says, like me, I'm like, hey, I don't understand this. Where do I go and who do I talk to? Like, how do you even know who to trust, so to speak?
Yeah,
And how do
for
you
sure.
know who's the best person to follow? I know that this is something you're doing. So what is it that you're doing for your clients, and what does that look like for our listeners?
Yeah. So what I've been doing with my clients, obviously Gogo's one of them. She was pretty vocal on her social media about signing up for our coaching program. But what we do and what we offer, first off, I believe in collaboration over competition. I think a lot of us do, right, in
Absolutely.
this industry with our brokerage. And so for me, anytime I do any type of event or presentation, I always want to provide value regardless. I want to help the person who wants to start out and they don't know where to start. And so what I've done is I've created a list of 10 really good ChatGPT prompts that you can copy and paste into ChatGPT for real estate,
Oh, that's
and it
awesome.
helps you get the best results. So it's anything from creating a short form video, it's anything from writing a Facebook post
Yeah,
to
Instagram or anything like that you can do now too,
Instagram.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I have 10 prompts. I've got how to write cold copy, how to write the best email newsletter to your potential clients. I've got creating call to actions, like just a lot of those things that will help real estate agents get started with ChatGPT. Now they don't have to know what to ask it because I've already done the work for them.
Perfect.
They don't have to know how to ask it because they just copy and paste my prompt into ChatGPT and hit enter. So that's why I'm saying, like, don't get overwhelmed with this because you don't have to be a master. Just align yourself with people who have already done the work. And so I have created these prompts to say, okay, what's the best for real estate, the easiest for real estate that's going to get you really good results? Here you go. And so we offer that again on my website, philstringer.com. It's PHILSTRINGER.com. I have a store button, and on the store, I have a couple different products. There is one called a starter pack, which is a prompt starter pack. And normally I sell that for $19. So it's super cheap. But for these events and speaking events and podcasts, I like to give a little bit of value. And so I know we talked about how can we offer your audience value in getting started with this. And we're able to give that pack to you completely free. So I'm going to provide a discount code. Yeah, provide a discount code that is going to give that pack that you can get started at no cost. So you go in there, you go to philstringer.com, you select the starter pack. You're going to go through, you're going to purchase that like it's an item. And in the checkout process, there's a place to put a promo code or a coupon code. So if you type in RERW, S for starter pack. So RERW, which is your podcast, and then the letter S for starter pack, that's going to give you a free starter pack that you can download and start using right away. It's a great place to start, right? If we have people who are like, man, I want to go all in, I want to dive in, I want to go and do this. If you like those 10, I have over 500 prompts in a pack that we have curated, we've vetted, where you literally scroll through and you say, okay, what do I want to do? Like I'm looking at it right now. Generate 90 content ideas that your clients may want to know. That is going to give you a list of 90 ideas of content ideas that you can make a video about, make a Facebook post about, write an email about, write a blog about, whatever. It's going to give you ideas that your specific real estate clients might want to know. I have things from email advertising, creating the best email subject lines, creating the best sales emails, text message marketing, boost your SEO, Twitter, YouTube, customer service, websites, TikTok, copywriting, social media, Facebook, LinkedIn. There's everything on here. We have over 500 prompts that you can copy, paste into ChatGPT. It's specific for real estate, and then you're getting amazing results, right? And so if you're interested in going even further and getting that package, we do have that. Normally that's $697 for the full pack. For your audience today, we're going to do a coupon code again that's going to knock $500 off that. So it'll be $197. You get access to the whole pack, which is incredible. The code for that is RERW and then U for ultimate, because that's the ultimate pack. So RERWU will get you that pack $500 off. And then we have one last product, which is really for the people who want to dive in. What I offer with this product is I give them a login to where whenever I add any prompts or anything to this pack, they get those updates immediately because they actually have a login to the database, right? So anytime I add something new, they get lifetime updates, but it also comes with weekly coaching sessions where I'm coaching them on how to implement AI. So if this is something you're like, hey, I really want access to the full library, but I also want someone to hold my hand and teach me, here's my goal, how do I get this to work with AI? I have coaching that I offer, weekly coaching sessions for 3 months, okay? Normally this product is $12.97 per month for 3 months. We have a coupon code for that. That's the Elite Pack. So it's RERWE for Elite, which is going to knock that $12.97 all the way down to $3.97 per month for 3 months. You get the ultimate pack, which is all of the prompts. You get the updates, lifetime updates, anytime we add something new because you have a login. And you get to access my coaching every week for 3 months for 3 monthly payments of $397. It's an absolute steal.
Oh, wow.
And
That's a
you'll get a
great.
lot of value from that. Yeah.
We're going to have you as a guest on our Tuesday tune-up as well, where we'll be able to actually share the screen and dive into some of
Yeah,
that too.
for sure.
And that'll be coming up May 30th. So if you're listening to this podcast before, jump onto our Tuesday tune-ups. You can head on over to MargueriteCrespillo.com, add your name to our email list. And then if you're listening to this podcast after that, we'll have the recorded versions available. This has been incredibly eye-opening for me. I'm sure it will be for many of our listeners. Like I said, even just hearing the basics of it, because I've been I'm not going to lie, I've felt very ignorant and a little lost with this. And I'm really excited to dive into some of your prompts to figure that stuff out. And if anyone listening is interested, we will definitely post the coupon codes and the access information in the show notes so that you can access it and get connected to Phil. Phil, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Is there anything that you wanted to say while we wrap up?
Yeah, I think for the person who is digging into AI, don't be scared of it. It's here to stay. Don't get overwhelmed. Utilize people who have been there and just embrace it. And I guarantee you it will do wonders for your business, but it's also going to do wonders for your clients. And that's really important that we give our clients and our homeowners a great experience when they're purchasing a home.
That's number one, right? That's really the most important thing.
Yep.
Thank you again so much for being here today. And thank you everybody for joining us on Real Estate Real World. You can always check us out at realestaterealworld.com. Add your name to our list. We're also on YouTube and all your social channels. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for joining us today on Real Estate Real World, where we talk with masters and leaders in real estate and beyond on how we can raise the bar in our industry. Please subscribe over on iTunes. And while you're there, be sure to give us a review. Your reviews encourage us and help others find our podcast. For show notes and hot topics on what's going on right now in our real estate industry, hop on over to www.realestaterealworld.com and add your name to our email. Thanks again for listening. And go out there, be a part of the elite masterclass in raising the bar on the real estate industry.